This is what the Russian world, or the Russian peace, as they called it, looks like.
У мене стара хата була. I am Zarina Zabrisky and I am talking to you.
Thank you so much for being with us here today and giving us time. And my first question about the situation in Mykolaiv after the liberation of Kherson. Obviously, right now, as we know, Kherson is being under massive attacks by the Russian military. So how would you describe this changed your activity, what you have to do as the head of the military administration of Mykolaiv on the daily basis?
After the occupation of Kherson region, part of the Kherson region and most part of Mykolaiv region on 11th of November, the situation changed in a better way because we have only two big shellings in Mykolaiv. It was the 8th of December and 21st of December, and we have no killed people except for one in Ochakiv region. For a big pity, Ochakiv region and Kusurupska territory remain under the shelling mostly every day for now, because we have 3 occupied still villages on the Kinbruska Kosa. So, but in general, situation changed in a better way because we started to recover our region, recover our critical infrastructure, buildings and many objects. Also, people are coming back after occupying the right branch of Dnieper River and the city of Kherson. And for a pity, the Kherson region started to feel what we felt from the beginning of the war, on the beginning of March, and when we was shelled every day.
A more general question. We hear a lot these days from all sort of experts in Ukraine and abroad, from Pentagon, that this is a decisive moment in war, that from now on the war will take the whole different course and there are different predictions and forecasts. Can you comment on that? Do you also think it's a decisive moment? And if so, why? What is the foundation for such a statement? And how do you see the course of war developing from here?
It's the question for analytics and to military forces. Talking about helicopter view on this situation, I understand that the enemy was stopped and Russian occupation military forces, they have no succeed for a long period of time. That's why obviously maybe it's a turning point, but from our victory we need help, we need ammunition and heavy weapon to deoccupy our territory and free our people, because they are now in defense mostly, except 2 points in the east of our country. And I believe that it can happen in the near future only with the help of our foreign partners.
And speaking of help and support by foreign partners, of course, everybody is speaking about Leopards, the tanks. Do you also believe that these tanks are as critical for the success? And if so, why?
By all means, it is very critical because these tanks can save the lives of our soldiers, because we are losing our best citizens, people who are volunteers, and we are losing them. And the Russian occupation forces, they just losing, I don't know how to say, jailmen.
Yeah, like convicts.
Yes. And other not prepared people, they just kill them on the front line without any support. So now Russians attacks just like infantry, and they have heavy loss on the battlefield. So we do not want to be like Russians. We want to free our territories and minimize our victims through our soldiers or military forces.
Right. And any idea why leopards, and in particular, and specifically, are so important as opposed to other tanks?
Beautiful name. The European weapon is more technological and advanced, so they have advantages over Russian tanks and techniques. So that's why we needed any of progressive tanks to provide our victory.
Actually, Natalia Gumenyuk said pretty much the same, so it's good to hear that from two experts. There's a lot of demining that needs to be done here. Can you speak a little bit about challenges and also the impact on environment? Because I know your background is also in agrarian policy. You were working as a head of an analytical department in agrarian unit. So can you comment on that, please?
We have heavy damages, ecological damages in the region. Mostly it's because of fire and shelling. There are lots of bad things in our land for now. It is thousands of square hectares under mining and under demining for now that are very dangerous. Our secure services say that it can take more than 10 years to demine the territory of the south of Ukraine for now. I don't remember exactly. It can be false information, but I think that more than 7,000 mines is already taken from the earth or was destroyed. Talking about environment protection, we have parks, we have Kimberska Kosa, we have National Ecological Center that are heavily injured, and we try to estimate, but it is over €1 billion, talking about damage, only ecological damage. So, and I do not know how many times we will need to recover our ecology in the region.
It's a very sad situation. Coming back to you and your background, in the past you were active in politics and you were a developer, so what you're doing now is very different to what you've been doing before the war. How do you feel it changes you, and what would be your plans for after the war?
I have no plans for now after the war, because trigger point is our victory. I will plan after it. So talking about why, how it happened, I don't know. Everybody of us are changing through their life. Maybe some sort of evolution in Ukraine, because thanks to our president Volodymyr Zelensky, he has a new policy that new open people that wants to change the life in Ukraine, they have now instruments to change it. Only for this, because of this, I came to politics from the business, because before Zelensky it wasn't possible, so it was not interesting for me to work in politics.
And speaking of victory, how do you see the next year? Do you think it will be possible to achieve victory in 2023? And if not, do you have any prediction?
Everything is possible in our world, because nobody can predict what happened in Ukraine last year. So I truly believe it can be in the next year. But if we will need more time, we will work more time.
Like, if you could address the world and ask for help or express any desires, what would it take for Mykolaiv Oblast to help achieve victory?
To tell the truth, we need weapons and ammunition to fight and to fight back our people and our territories. And it's not a short war anymore. It is a long time war, and for now it is hard job, everyday hard job, and many of the people get used to the war, get used to the picture on TV and to the victims, to the deaths. For a pity, we have that problem near us, and nobody can feel it. What are the real problems in the region when you are not here and you cannot suffer and to feel all that feelings that feel our peoples. We also get used to the war and to the shelling, but it's a big problem also for the future generation. So we need weapon, and we need it a lot to make it quicker, because when the help of our partners will be in an amount that is enough, we will save lives. You will save lives, because it will take less time to the victory, and there will be less victims among the civilian population.
I think it's a great address, and I hope that people will hear you. And I know you probably have been asked that a lot, but we've all seen the images of the building of the administration that was destroyed. I've done an interview with Olga Malarchuk there, and I did a photo shoot there as well, so I saw the devastation. Can you talk a little bit about how it felt when it happened about that day?
Everybody who is taking part in this war becoming a bit rude. So it was not the first day of war. We already get used to the problems and to the victims and to the deaths of our friends. So it was bad and sad day, but it didn't change the will to fight longer.
My last question would be, and I don't know if you can answer that, but I always wonder, because I read, as anybody else, the news on Telegram channels, and it looks like you always know a little bit ahead of everybody else when the mass air raids are happening or whatever is flying towards Ukraine. How do you know that?
Russians are calling me and saying that they're shooting.
Let's hope that, in the future you can call back and tell them where to go.
I'm already there.
Thank you so much. I just want to say that your addresses, your video addresses are super popular. Everybody loves them, and they help people to understand Ukraine, feel it. So I hope they keep coming, and thank you very much for giving time.
Okay, thank you for your attention to our country. It's very important, because through your work we have support in the whole world, and everybody knows that Ukraine is a good one and Russia is evil.
Exactly. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.